4 p.m. we bring you the developing news.
And the stories behind the headlines. This is Storycon. I'm Patrick Paez.
And I'm Lingao. Here are some stories we're watching this Friday, April 19. The Luzon and Visayas grids are once again on red and yellow alert. Yellow alert is up over Luzon from 12 noon to 3 p.m., 4 to 6 p.m., and 10 to 11 p.m. The same grid has also been placed under red alert from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. and from 6 to 10 in the evening. Yellow alert is likewise up over the Visayas grid from 12 noon to 4 p.m. and from 5 to 8 p.m. today. The Immigration Bureau says about 1,500 Chinese students were issued visas in Cagayan. The BI insists that all of these students have complete documentation and could be deported once they engage in illegal activities. The agency is reacting to reports that there is now a surge of Chinese students in Cagayan.
Foreign media outlets are reporting that Israeli missiles have hit a site in Iran. The Iranian state media has confirmed an explosion in the nation's capital. Before this, Tehran launched a retaliatory drone strike on Israel in support of Hamas. Actually, it was in retaliation to an Israeli strike on its embassy in Syria.
And still a hot topic, the Dutertes and the Marcoses. Not to report the News 5
Malayo pa ang
correspondent,
2020.
Bril Montalvo. Let's go with that. Okay, well, we're supposed to have that report from Bril Montalvo, so let's bring that back later on in the show. Okay? Okay, let's go to Bril Montalvo's voiceover report.
Malayo pa ang 2028 presidential elections, pero si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte may hirit na agad sa anak ni si Vice President Sara Duterte.
Panahon na siguro kung si Inday ang mapresidente, unahan na ng reforma sa yuta, bungkagan nagko, ihatag na lang sa mga tao.
Sinabi niya yan sa selebrasyon ng Araw ng Barangay Pandaitan sa Davao City nitong Miyerkules. May nilinaw din siya sa gitna ng tuloy-tuloy na patutsada kay Pangulong Bongbong Marcos. Hindi lang daw niya sinuportahan si Marcos noong eleksyon dahil ayaw niyang masaktan ang mga kandidatong kaibigan niya.
Ako dili ko oposisyon, dili ko kontra ni Marcos.
Matatanda ang January 28 nang banata ni Digong si PBBM sa prayer rally sa Davao City. Dinaluhan niya ng anak na si VP Sara.
Si Bongbong Marcos bangag noon, ngayong presidente na bangag natin ang presidente. May drug addict tayo na presidente.
Kinabukasan, nagkita sina VP Sara at First Lady Liza sa departure ceremony ng Vietnam trip ng mag-asawang Marcos. Magkatabi sila sa upuan, pero kapansin-pansing hindi nagbabatian. Nilagpasan din ni First Lady si VP Sara na kausap noon ng Pangulo. Sa panayam sa kanya ni Anthony Taberna sa tune-in kay Tunying, sinabi ni Liza ang hinanakit kay VP.
I mean, for me, nasaktan ako because my husband will do everything to protect you. You ran together, di ba? Sama-sama tayo, babangon muli. Pupunta ka sa rally, tatawagan yung presidente mong bangag, di ba, you're going to laugh? Tama ba yan? Even Lenny never did that.
Hindi naman malinaw kung natawa nga talaga si VP sa event. Pero sabi ni First Lady,
Bad shot na yun sa akin.
natanong din sa panayam kung ano ang mensahe ni First Lady sa lahat ng kanilang kritiko. Ang sabi niya lang, bring it on. Hindi rin daw siya bababa sa level ng mga ito. Para sa One Page, Bril Montalvo, News 5.
Now joining us again on the Storycon is Philippine Star Editor-in-Chief, Ami Pamintuan, and the de facto political pundit of One News, Ronald. Alam mo bakit de facto? Mamaya na.
Parang meron akong inkling kung bakit.
Yun, okay. Ronald, hindi daw siya opposition, sabi ni...
Hindi rin daw sa kontra.
Hindi rin siya. Pero bumanat pa rin dun sa bangag, ano? So ano to? Passive-aggressive din? I mean, si Duterte, no?
Hindi naman siya pwedeng, wala naman naniniwala na hindi siya opposition. Dahil very antagonistic yung kanyang mga banat. At very...
Mas mangang pa nga kaysa
Opposition, the old opposition is quiet actually. They're just watching, di ba?
Oo.
What?
Yung mga banat niya, yung mga threats niya, ay mahirap sabihin na hindi opposition. No? As early as before the election. Kung maalala mo, di ba, December 2021, matindi na yung kanyang banat. No? Adik, sinungaling, weak leader. Tapos, fast forward, itong January 28, 2024 rally sa Davao. Ngayon lang ako nakakita ng gano'n sa tagal ko sa politika, na isang former president, binanatan yung incumbent president ng lahat ng pwedeng ibanat. No? From secession, to insurrection, to mutiny, etc. Paano mo pa babawiin yun? Kaya tingin ko hindi na lost yan kay First Lady, na sobra na.
Okay, Ami? Baka may
Hi, good
dadagdag ka.
afternoon. Good to see you again, Ed.
Ay, o nga pala, dito ko.
Good afternoon, Ami.
Siyempre, binabantayan. Well, hanggang ngayon, iniintay namin kung anong reaction ni VP Sara
Yes.
dyan sa mga nangyayari and the Duterte camp. Dahil kanina nagkita sila ni President Marcos dun sa PNPA Civil naman daw yung dalawa. Dahil of course, both of them are saying na tuloy pa rin yung, magkakampi pa rin sila And as well, naghihintay tayo ngayon ng reaction kay yung dating super ate ng Pangulo ngayon, mukhang ate na lang Kasi, siyempre, in the same interview, may sinabi din si First Lady Liza, tinanong siya, di ba, about the presidential sister. Ang sabi niya, tanongin nyo na lang yan dahil ako, I'm just an outlaw. Ayan, naghihintay tayo ng mga sagot dyan.
Ami, ito ba mga stories that are coming out of this interview with the First Lady of Tunying Taberna?
Yes.
Is the Philippine Star going to carry this on its front page? Any of the angles?
Yes, lalo yung bagong aspect nga ni yung tungkol kay Senator Amy kasi matagal na ring speculation yan, di ba?
Right.
Na mukhang from super ate nga ng Pangulo at the start of the Marcos administration, kapansin-pansin na nawala na siya doon sa mga policy making, yung mga major meetings, even family gatherings.
Imbitado naman daw. Imbitado naman. Nasa chat group daw sila lahat.
Si inamin ni First Lady Inamin ni First Lady, di ba? Hinahanap daw nung mother-in-law niya. Nasamba si Amy. Di ba? Inamin naman niya doon sa interview.
It's become I think if you will monitor the Facebook page or group of the First Lady, it's part of her, every Sunday they have a family gathering across the PSG compound. No? Nandun palagi yung dating First Lady, si Imelda Marcos. Nandun din minsan yung mga madalas nandun din yung mga anak ni Senator Amy Marcos. So it's a family gathering. Some of the guests there are, minsan the speaker is there too, no? Pero kapansin-pansin nga na wala doon yung super ate. Yun.
Yes, and open invitation daw yan, di ba? Sinabi niya, nakalink sila lahat.
Right.
So, hindi kailangan nang iimbitahin ko kayo isa-isa. Kasi ang understanding, it is a family gathering, pupunta kayo. Kaso nga, medyo matagal nang nawawala si Senator Amy na alam naman natin na kaalyado ni Vice President Sara. So, yan ang mga iniintay natin ngayong mainit na araw na ito.
And not only that, Senator Amy Marcos has publicly and has been vocal in her disagreement with a lot of policy directions of this administration, of the administration of her brother.
Parang most Hindi na lahat. Parang most.
From agri,
from agri
to foreign policy, itong EDCA,
Chacha, no, etc.
Afghan refugees.
Oo. Pero interesting din dahil itong interview ni First Lady Ketunying, kulang pa dahil nagre-refer siya dun sa first Davao rally. Hindi pa kasama dyan yung Liwasan Rally for Kibuloy na mas matitindi yung sigaw habang nandun si Vice President Sara Duterte. Ibagsak, wakasan, tapusin habang nandun siya. No? At panghuli yung Davao Rally 2.0. Itong pinaka-latest.
Davao del Norte.
Hindi pa nakasama ito dito sa interview ni Tonying. No? Lalo na siguro kung nakasama yan dahil matitindi rin yung mga banat doon. Especially doon sa Liwasan Rally.
Maingat sila sa Liwasan Rally, wakasan, ibagsak.
Period. Walang kadugtong. Walang kadugtong yun.
Tapos mamaya sasabihin, ang korupsyon.
Yeah.
Oo.
Magaling eh.
Magaling, yun eh. Abogado
Ang tawag dyan nung kabataan natin, agitprop. Agitation and propaganda. Di ba?
Oo.
Parang ganun.
Pero siyempre sa First Lady, hindi lost sa kanya kung ano yung ibig sabihin nun. At definitely, kini-question niya yung loyalty, no, ng Vice President tungkol dito. Sabi nga ni Ami, interesting na marinig, ano yung sasabihin ni Vice President Sara Duterte? No? Interesting din marinig, anong sasabihin ng Presidente? Dahil just nung FOCAP meeting, ang sabi niya, okay pa sila ni Vice President
It's
Sara.
complicated lang.
Yung sa pamilya, complicated. Pero after nito, ano kayang sasabihin ng Presidente?
Okay. I want to ask what you think is the objective of granting this interview. What does the First Lady
I think it was a
hope to
message for the Vice
achieve?
President to resign.
Okay. That's your thinking. That's your calculation.
Tingin ko yun yung kwan dito na nakakahiya naman kung ganyan lang iyong political posturing, kung ganyan ang mga dinadaluhan mo, tapos kasama ka pa sa official family, nasa cabinet ka, at hindi lang simpleng cabinet, pinakamalaking cabinet department, no? So, yun yung mensahe. Tingin ko in more ways than one. Kaya interesting yung ano ba magiging sagot ng Vice President? Siya ba ay makikita ba niya hindi lamang yung writing on the wall, kundi yung nakaukit sa wall? No? Hindi na siya simpleng writing.
Pero yung isa pang tanong, Ronald, may ano ba yan, may imprimatur ba yan ni President Marcos? Kasi we all know naman kung gaano nga kalapit siyang mag-asawa, and siya ba ang ginamit ni President Marcos to express what he really thinks of his Vice
Is that possible
President?
too?
O talagang magkaiba ang iniisip nila, yung impression nila about the Vice President. Kasi that's a very public interview at siyempre, I'm sure, pinag-usapan ng mag-asawa, ano ba magiging impact niyan dito? Cabinet member ko yan, my Vice President, my former running mate. Tingin mo, alam kaya ni President Marcos?
Ako, ang pagkiling ko ay alam niya. Ako, ang pagkiling ko ay hindi ito gagawin ng ganyang kapublic ng First Lady nang wala man lang timbre, wala man lang blessing. No? At kaya tingin ko, that won't be lost on the Vice President and on the Duterte family.
Pero Ronald, iba yung
Pwedeng nag-uusap na sila na, alis ka na dyan. No?
Pero Bok, iba yung may timbre at pumayag yung isa, iba yung may timbre and I will do it anyway whether or not you want it.
Oo, pero alam ng presidente na pag gagawin niya ng First Lady, malinaw yung
implications.
Mahilig implications niyan. Malinaw yung direction.
Another possible scenario, since we're in the realm of
Possibilities.
conjectures and possibilities, what if hindi alam ng presidente? Sabihin natin, that's also a possibility. But this interview was designed to force the hand of the president as far as dealing with the vice president. Kumbaga, misis na ito nagsalita, medyo short of a break na talaga.
Could be, pero masyadong major na awayan within the family, within sa mag-asawa. No?
Kung hindi nagpaalam.
Kung hindi nagpaalam. No? Kaya I doubt kung walang paalam yan. No? Dahil at this point...
paano yan? Nagbeso-beso pa dun sa PNPA. Nakita niyo naman yung video.
At this point kasi, ang pumupuno ng political vacuum ng presidente, walang ruling party, walang ruling coalition, no? Yung cabinet ay tahimik, tapos wala namang political advisors, strategies, campaign manager. Ang pumupuno yung First Lady eh. Kaya whether we like it or not, no, yung vacuum na yan ay defining. Bakit? Dahil yung First Lady ang pumupuno at this point. Kaya I doubt kung walang timbre sa presidente.
Bok, yung reference ni Ami na video na pinapakita natin kanina, yung PNP graduation earlier this morning, if you can show it again, magkasama si Pangulong Marcos at I think it was VP Sara Duterte. Can we show the video again? We were playing it a while ago. Okay. But it was a bit too small for us to see.
You can rewind on air, direct, para we save time, para alam natin.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. This was shot earlier today.
Ayan
Okay.
Beso-beso yan.
Pero Pilipinas to eh. It may or may
Usually,
not be anything.
nagkakamayan lang yung dalawang yan, ha? Oh, ngayon, nagbeso-beso.
Sumunod naman, di naman naglakad ng
Oo,
opposite
kaya nga,
direction.
oo.
Talagang bawat kilos eh, no?
Diba? Ito yung mga
Iba may
binabantayan
messaging
ngayon.
yan?
Ano?
And considering the silence of the Vice President, hindi ba merong message yan?
But you know, Ronald, it has also been
Ano?
it has
Diba?
also
Trying to
been
divide the wind eh.
said often, di ba? I remember even early on in this administration by Senator Juan Ponce Enrile, presidential legal advisor, no? Sabi, mabait itong presidente. Okay? Inulit-ulit yan ng misis niya, mabait itong presidenteng to. Could it be na ayaw din niya talagang i-break yung BP? Ha?
Could be.
Could be.
Natatawa na lang ako.
Ba't ka natatawa? Kaya tinatanong ko kanina, yung si Rodrigo Duterte, sabi niya, hindi daw sila opposition. Baka naman iniisip niya Ronald sa opposition eh. Yung traditional opposition
Yes.
kasi.
Hindi siya liberal.
Hindi yung ibig na
Hindi siya
sabihin na
liberal party.
anti-administration
Oh, hindi siya
siya.
dalawa.
Baka pwede rin yun.
Oo, yung party ng liberal, oo. Exactly.
Lalo na may clear political statement si First Lady doon sa interview niya kay Tonying, no? Buti pa si Leni Robredo.
Kaya nga, exactly.
Buti pa si Leni. Kaya,
Pero Ami, ang sabi ni Tatay Dustin eh, hindi ako kontra.
sabi nga ni
Pinapatanggal lang niya yung presidente.
Sabi nga ni PBBM nung nasa Berlin siya, ang problema naman kay Tico, pabago-bago ng posisyon. Pabago-bago ng sinasabi, di ba? Totoo naman, dahil kung iti-take mo at face value, yung kanyang mga pag-tumbling, iba yung sinabi niya last year, iba yung sinabi nung January, iba yung sinabi nung February, iba sinabi nung March, no? Iba sinabi ngayong April. Ang problema, hindi magkalapit yung sinabi, talagang magka-opposite eh, di ba?
Yan, Ronald, not by design.
Ha?
Not by design.
Well, method in the madness.
Method in the
Method in the madness yan.
So partly by design, yung ganyan, inconsistency, yung mga pronouncements na medyo ang hirap ispellingin minsan magkakakontradict.
Pati yung mga tao...
Method.
Method in the madness. Pati yung mga tao niya nako-confuse eh. Pero mukhang natutuwa siya pag nako-confuse yung kanyang mga tao. Lalo na si Panelo at si Harry Roque.
But I think we have a
Pero
related
may
story.
ambiguity din eh. Hindi ba? May ambiguity din yung Marcoses eh. Between Aimee and the president. Dahil dati magkalapit yan. And we knew na Aimee had influence sa policy making. Kaya lang nagkaroon nga yata rin ng conflict with the cousin, the favorite cousin, si Speaker Martin, na puhas show na talagang malakas ang control niya sa House, ano? So medyo magulo din siya. I'm sure malakas ang impluensya sa pamilya ni ate. Kaya lang, kaya na nga, tinitingnan natin yung mga dynamics ngayon. We're waiting for her reaction dito sa sinabi naman ni First Lady. Outflow lang
Speaking of
po.
Aimee Marcos, she's been very quiet lately.
Tingin ko yung cracks nagsimula sa kanya nung immediately after the elections. Kung maalala nyo, yung unang SONA, nag-press con siya ng umaga, lahat ng sinabi niya na advice sa kanyang kapatid para sa SONA, wala man lang ni isang period o comma na sinama. No? Kaya makikita mo, merong meron nangyayari dito. Ikalawa, yung mga pictures o yung mga video na magkasama sila ni First Lady, kitang-kita yung body language eh. Diba? Doon nagsimula yung mga hugot. Doon nagsimula yung mga marites eh. Doon sa kanilang public appearance. At doon sa mga statements ni Aimee. Na parang outside of the kulambu siya from the very start. That was immediately after the election. Yung sumunod pa nga lang dyan, yung kay Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo eh. Yung mga reklamo niya na yung kanyang gustong i-appoint, hindi na-appoint. Halimbawa sa Department of Energy. No? At eventually, yung pagtanggal sa kanya as a senior deputy speaker. At tambalos-los na yung sumunod doon. Pero in between, parallel dyan, namomonitor mo yung sister na merong dynamics with the First Lady.
With the First Lady.
Bok, sorry, I have to bring this in kasi si Delisa naghihintay. There's a related event dun sa Cebu between, including former President Duterte and other officials of PDP Laban in a meeting in Cebu tonight. Details from One News Cebu desk and Freeman editor Dale Israel. Dale, what can you tell so far?
Yes, may hapon, Patrick, Ronald, Ed, and Ami. That's right. Former President Rodrigo Duterte will be in Cebu tonight for a gathering of allies in Partido Demokrato Pilipino Lakas ng Bayan, or PDP, Laban. It's a so-called convergence meeting, and Cebu City Mayor Michael Rama, considered as the host city, will lead the attendance among local officials, being the PDP Laban Vice President for the Visayas. Mayor Rama said there will be over 1,500 who will be attending the event at the Nusta Resort and Casino at the South Road property. The senators who will be there include Robin Padilla, Bato de la Rosa, and Francis Tolentino. Former Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi and Davao del Norte First District Representative Pantaleon Alvarez will also be there. The program and agenda of the Convergence meeting has not yet been released as of this time, but aside from Rama, no other local officials have signified their attendance to the event. There are 53 mayors in Cebu province, including the highly urbanized cities in Mandaue, but only Rama signified his attendance. And according to the office of Cebu Governor Gwen Garcia, she is out of town, and they didn't tell us to where she went, so she won't be able to attend also the event.
Dale, sino pa ba ibang political leaders na nandyan? Paano, halimbawa, ang presidente ng PDP Laban, si Congressman Pepito Alvarez of Palawan, yung Secretary General, si Melvin Matibag, ay lumipat na sa Lakas NUCD together with his wife. Si Cusi is also a high-ranking member of PDP Laban. So gusto kong malaman, sino ba yung natira? Paano kung parang si Rama lang yung nakita ko na political bigwig, maliban sa mga senador? Interesting din si Francis Tolentino dahil si Francis Tolentino ay for the past year dumidistansya sa PDP Laban, lalo na sa usapin ng foreign policy. Dahil bumabanat sa China si Francis Tolentino habang yung mga kasama niya ay mukhang pro-China. So, interesting yung dynamics kung sino dadalo dyan.
We just knew all these names from the senators because they will be the ones who will be facing the media later for a press conference. No other senators were also mentioned that will be attending the press conference, but as to the list in the program, they have not released it yet.
Yes.
Dale, we know na sila Gwen Garcia, kakampi ng mga Dutertes. She's quite close to Vice President Sara Duterte. And in fact, yung si Cristina Frasco, that tourism secretary, anak ni governor, malapit na ba, we understand na kaya siya na, isa sa mga endorser sa pwesto. Apart from Gwen Garcia, of course, is the Vice President. So, anong mangyayari niyan kapag ganyan na i-split na yung votes dyan sa Cebu, hindi na siya nagiging solid? Tama ba yung binabasa namin? Are we reading too much into it o solid pa rin? Kung sino man ang susuportahan ng Cebu, magiging solid pa rin? I'm talking about 2025 and 2028, of course.
Yes, we can't speculate as of what's going to happen in 2025 and 2028. But then there are already locally conflicts between Mike Rama and Governor Garcia, and now here comes it's the second meeting with President Rodrigo Duterte where local officials, including Governor Garcia, will not be attending, and all the other allies of the ally mayors of Garcia will also not be there. We tried to contact at least the highly urbanized cities of Mandaue and Lapu-Lapu, but there are no replies as of now whether they are attending the event.
Dale, balikan ko lang yung sinabi ko kanina, may figure of digay kanina, mga 53 or 54 ang mayors ng Cebu province. Do we know kung ilan dyan ang mga members dati o hanggang ngayon ng PDP Laban at ilan ang tumalon kung sakali?
For the province of Cebu, it's 50 mayors of province of Cebu are mostly allied with the local party. It's a commonly registered local party called One Cebu Party,
Okay. Yeah, One Cebu.
which is led by Governor Garcia. So they're not technically members of PDP Laban, but they are. One Cebu has an alliance with PDP Laban during the 2022 elections.
Pero si Governor is not committed to attend the event, no? Should we read anything into that, or it's basically coincidence?
Governor Garcia is not a member of PDP Laban also. She's the chairman of the One Cebu Party, which she founded. So But they had an
Yeah,
alliance in
yeah.
2022
But-
with
but-
PDP Laban.
Yeah, but Dale, that's probably the dynamics between her not attending would have to do with her fight with Mayor Rama. So that's the dynamics involved there, right?
Not necessarily, because it's probably, as what I can read from here, is that Governor Garcia is also close with Liza Marcos, and Governor Garcia's daughter is still with the cabinet, so we probably don't want to be involved if there will be criticizes against the administration during the event.
Okay, so a lot of reasons for Governor Gwen Garcia not to attend that PDP Laban meeting in Cebu. First is that the daughter is still a cabinet secretary.
Yes, official family.
Oh, okay, official family. And kaaway niya yung mayor na mag-a-attend. Parang ganon. Okay.
Mukhang yung PDP Laban, ang sinusuportahan na, yung mayor.
Yes.
Kaya malinaw na yung lines, at least sa Cebu. Ang tanong ko, Dale, may kongresista ba na nandyan? Dahil most, if not all, of the PDP Laban congressmen, sinuportahan si Speaker Martin. Especially on the chacha, on the charter change issue. Kaya, meron ka bang nakita na kongresista na nandyan?
There are no congressmen that we see that will be attending, because like what happened in they are supporting Speaker Romualdez. They actually were there in complete attendance in an event in City Hall. I guess that was last month.
So talagang the lines are
The
drawn.
open rally, no, it's just a PDP Laban meeting.
Yes, it's inside a hotel, a huge resort complex in the South Road property. It's at an open field. It's in a ballroom.
Pero may possibility kaya na magkakaroon din ng rally, public rally outside. Halimbawa, mga supporter siguro ni Apollo Kibuloy. Kasi hanggang dito sa Manila, nakakarating sila eh.
Not as of now, we have not had any invitation or any schedule that we see that there's a rally of such magnitude or open air rally.
Sana wala ng prayer rally dahil ang daming mga prayer rally, walang prayer.
Marami naman dancing, di ba?
Dance prayer.
Ikaw naman kasi.
Yung kabilang PDP
Puro
Laban,
prayer
meron
rally
bang
kasi
mga regional kung merong representative na lumilipat dyan sa faction na yan?
There's no reports that we got. If the other faction of the PDP Laban will be joining, for one, we didn't see former Senator Pacquiao in attendance. So,
Yes.
Very interesting din yan, Dale, dahil nung presidente si Digong, nilagay niya sa drug list si Mayor Rama, di ba? Kung naalala mo.
that's correct. That's in 2017, I guess.
Yes.
So, and Rama actually went to a lot of people to just have his name cleared. And now on the next elections in 2019, his hands are among those raised by President Duterte.
Okay, so reconciliation, Ronald, is possible.
Yes.
Tingnan mo itong nag-aaway na may possible reconciliation.
Ang problema sa
Nabanggit
Pilipinas.
ng First Lady, of course, badshot na sa akin that famous quote in that Taberna interview. But at the same time, she was asked if it's still possible to have a reconciliation. I think she mentioned na pag nag-sorry. Ganon. So pwede pa rin. Pwede pa rin.
Lahat naman sa Pilipinas, walang imposible. Pero
Yun.
maraming improbable.
Oh, yun. So you're saying it's
Sa Pilipinas,
not likely?
Oo, dahil meron tayong forgiveness even without repentance. No? Diba? Wala naman nag-repent eh. Kaya I doubt kung may magsosorry.
Saka ano ba mas likely, magsasorry o magsusuntukan?
Baka yung magsuntukan.
Okay.
Pasalamat na tayo. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Dale.
One News Cebu correspondent and the Freeman editor, Dale Israel.
Thank you, Dale.
You're watching Storycon on One News. We just need to take a break. We'll be right back.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group. We've got the developing news and the stories behind the headlines. Welcome back to the Story Conference. I'm Patrick Paez.
I'm Ed Lingao, and also with us, Philippine Star Editor-in-Chief Pamintuan and our de facto political pundit, Tito Ronald Llamas.
Nagtatawa ka pag binabanggit mo.
Let's bring in International Affairs Analyst Professor Renato De Castro. Good afternoon, Professor. We're having you here with us this afternoon because we want to find out about the American missiles that are actually deployed in Cagayan at this very moment. This seems to be an underreported.
The first time they deployed it, yeah.
Yeah, this seems to be a very underreported incident or development that we are hosting. Pinag-uusapan lang to dati, di ba, debate, that America was planning to deploy medium-range missiles. It was never mentioned that Philippines would be among those places that they will be deployed. Pero right now, yun pala, they've been deployed here.
Yeah. So let me explain this. So this is the type of what you call intermediate range ballistic missile. So it's between what we consider intercontinental ballistic missile, which is for strategic, and of course below that you have the short range. So this is in the middle. So in 1988, based on the INF Treaty Intermediate Range Ballistic Missiles Agreement between the Soviet Union and the United States dismantled all its intermediate range ballistic missiles. The first thing. So, but then later, of course, they realized that China has developed a lot of short-range, intermediate-range ballistic missiles that are part of China's anti-access area denial strategy in the South China Sea, in the Taiwan Strait, and in the waters of the First Island chain. So the U.S. military, specifically the U.S. Army, found the need to develop and, of course, deploy a new generation of intermediate-range ballistic missiles. And, of course, for the first time, they have deployed it, but I don't think this will be deployed on a permanent basis.
Okay.
Because these are mobile. What they actually deployed are mobile lancers. So I don't think they'll be deployed here or installed here. It's really more of, I guess, messaging and symbolism, assuring us that we will have at least capacity to reinforce what we call the comprehensive archipelagic defense concept. And also, of course, a signal to countries or a country that's planning on expanding and committing acts of aggression and coercion against the Philippines and possibly against Japan and even Taiwan.
So, Professor, itong mga missiles na ito na long range na, no, hindi lang sila short range, ay makakaabot sa mainland China at saka sa Taiwan. So hindi lang
It could reach as far as Hainan Island.
Oh, hindi lang siya pang West Philippine Sea. Pwede ito sa mga long range.
Hindi lang sa West Philippines hanggang na Hainan Island.
Yeah.
Or even southern China.
Okay.
Professor.
Prof, you mean,
Professor, that's...
Sige, go ahead.
Professor, pang offensive and defensive yan, meaning it can intercept as well.
No. It's an intermediate range ballistic missile, still not an anti-ballistic missile system. You're talking about the Patriot.
Yes.
Patriot
So,
missile.
offensive talaga siya.
Okay, Professor, I recall that when the new EDCA
all
sites
weapons
were...
could be used defensive or offensive, depending on the situation.
Okay, Professor, I recall that when the new EDCA sites were announced by the Marcos administration, the President Marcos said that he won't allow offensive weapons to be deployed on these EDCA sites. So, is this a walking back on that pronouncement?
Well, I mentioned earlier, they're mobile. I don't think they'll be deployed in those EDCA sites.
Pero Prof,
After the military exercise, they will be brought back to the United States.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So Prof, they're here for Salaknib only, or are they going to stay as well for Balikatan
Yeah.
and beyond?
Yes, only for yes.
Only for Salaknib. They're not going to stay for Balikatan, which begins next week.
I don't think so.
Okay, another things, Professor, these are is it typhoon or typhoon?
Typhoon.
Typhoon. Okay,
Typhoon.
these are
Typhoon,
missile
yeah.
launchers, right?
Standard 6.
That's what we understand. These are ground missile launchers that were parang nilagay sa mga truck.
It's mobile. It's mobile.
It's mobile.
It has, I think there's 4. You have 4 launchers there, based on what I've read. Then, of course, it's mobile. It has escort. Actually, it could fire 2 types of missiles.
Cruise missiles.
The Tomahawk and
Tomahawk cruise missile, SM-6.
Okay, do we know, Professor De Castro, if these Typhoon missile launchers that are here right now also have the cruise missiles or the SM-6 missiles?
It could fire cruise missile. It could fire Tomahawk.
It can fire, but when they were deployed here, were they deployed already with the cruise missiles?
I don't know. I'm not privy to the operational details. I just read a couple of articles that came out.
Prof, you were saying a while ago that they're not likely to be stationed here precisely because
I don't think so, yes.
because they're mobile launchers to begin with. But isn't it
Yeah.
possible for them to station them here anyway, even though they're mobile launchers?
Iparada, kumbaga.
Oo.
Nakaparada lang, Prof.
Kumbaga-
It will depend on the agreement. Yeah, they cannot just deploy it. They have to ask our permission.
Especially for the EDCA sites, I suppose.
I don't think they'll be deployed at the EDCA sites. The EDCA sites are mostly air bases and, of course, support facility. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket.
Yes, that's true, sir. Yes, sir. Sir.
So the advantage of these mobile missile launchers is it's hard to track them down. That's what I understand in my limited knowledge of weapon systems. No? But you said they might... Is it possible that they'll be left behind, these missile launchers? They'll be left behind
I don't
here in the
know. I
Philippines?
guess. Again, this is a decision that will be made by the Mutual Defense Board.
Okay.
Sir.
Professor,
So they're here para lang for training? Ano ba, demonstration purposes or
Yeah,
are
yes,
they
also
training?
for
Dahil
messaging.
wala naman ng Pilipinas ng ganyan eh. So they will be training our forces? Wala naman tayong ganyan?
Ami, let me remind you, we have
Yes.
BrahMos. BrahMos
yes.
missile. I think we have 4
So for-
launchers.
Yes. So for interoperability training yan.
Yeah, of
Ganun
course.
ba yun?
Again, when people would ask, Americans are bringing in missiles. My goodness, we just bought a missile system
Okay.
from India.
Okay.
yes, Brahmos.
So,
Okay.
Prof, sabi
Yeah.
kasi ng Armed Forces ay dineploy itong Typhoon missile sa Northern Luzon. Pero wala silang binanggit na specific place. Alam niyo ba kung saan sa Northern
Yeah,
Luzon nilagay yan?
Yes, sabi, doon nila, Again, it could be mobile. It could be moved from Northern Luzon, even as far as Metro Manila. Of course, ang question yan, can it be handled by our highway?
Okay, that's important.
Siguro pwede sa bukid.
Mga highways natin.
Prof,
Anyway, Prof,
Prof, in the event that they are deployed here,
The public works and highway.
yes, Prof. Prof, in the event that they are to be deployed here, just in the event, I suppose that would require an entirely separate agreement because it is not part of EDCA.
No. No, it's part of the Mutual Defense Treaty. The mother treaty there is the Mutual Defense Treaty.
Yes, sir. But the deployment of a U.S. missile system in the Philippines would that be part of the MDT?
Yes, everything. Once decided by the Mutual Defense Board.
Yes, sama yan.
Okay. Professor De Castro, how do you think China would respond to this action, to this deployment?
Sabi nga ng AFP, lagi na lang pumunta lang si Secretary Gibo Isidoro sa Batanes and announce he will increase our reservists. You see how the Chinese reacted. Increase
Professor,
lang natin yung number of reservists sa Mabulis Island. The China is trying to impose a veto on our defense decision.
Okay.
So we really allow China and even care to what China would say and think?
Okay. Professor, I understand for the first time this year, this year's Balikatan, it will be conducted. There will be drills on the outer or inner edges of our EEZ, of our exclusive economic zone. But this EEZ, as we all know, Professor, is being claimed by China as territorial waters, their territorial waters. How do you think China would respond to these drills, this year's Balikatan?
Again, China would react. China would react. They see, of course, the Philippines challenging China's expansive claims. And, of course, this is, in a way, an implementation of our comprehensive archipelagic defense concept. That our goal is, of course, to project our comprehensive capabilities into our exclusive economic zone.
Professor,
Merong statement ngayon ng actually from Beijing. The Chinese government asked the US to respect China's territorial and maritime territorial sovereign rights in the South China Sea. So yun, iniintay pa namin ang reaction ng US. But
Well, our
kayo,
reaction is this.
Professor,
Okay.
Our reaction is this. The Philippines and the United States acknowledge the 2016 arbitral tribunal ruling, which basically declares that Chinese maritime entitlement beyond China's exclusive economic zone or based on the Chinese 9-dash line is considered it's not considered legal.
Okay.
Professor, sabi po ni President Bongbong Marcos a week ago na kung may isang sundalo tayong mamatay, ay i-invoke niya yung Mutual Defense Treaty. Anong ibig sabihin ng pag-invoke ng Mutual Defense Treaty? Ano yung proseso na mangyayari pag in-invoke? Hindi naman kaagad yung gera, di ba? So anong ibig sabihin yan? Magde-deploy ng mga battleships? Magkakaroon lang ba ng press conference, ng statement? Anong ibig sabihin actually, in actuality, kung i-invoke halimbawa in the near future ang Mutual Defense Treaty? How will it unfold?
Unang-una, this is a misconception. Invoking the Mutual Defense Treaty. Actually, the Mutual Defense Treaty is always in operation. Number one, of course, when you talk about Article 1 to 2, both allies would strengthen their collective capabilities. This is being implemented by Balikatan exercise and other military exercises conducted by the Philippines and the United States. Article 3 provides for consultation, and which has been doing it. That's why we have the Mutual Defense Board. What we basically say when we invoke the Mutual Defense Treaty, we refer to Article 4, which provides that any attack on Philippine public ship, a public vessel, air or sea, will, of course, that has been expanded. Armed Forces of the Philippines, Coast Guard, will be considered an attack on the United States. And both sides would start consultative process. So again, it will depend on the consultation by the two allies. You won't have, of course, the U.S. President asking the United States Congress to declare war. I don't think that will happen. Both sides would consult each other. Both sides would have to come out with a consensus or agreement on how they would react to the situation where, of course, a Philippine vessel, air or sea, had been attacked, and of course, the United States has considered it also as an attack on the United States.
Professor, di ba kailangan iklaro kung ano yung armed attack? Hindi ba pwedeng armed attack yung water cannon if it destroys our ships?
Or killed someone?
No,
paano kung pag nasira yung barko, may namatay, paano yun? Is that an armed attack? Kailangan ba ng red definition ng armed attack?
Okay, I will just give context to President Marcos' statement. This is based on the statement by Indo-PACOM Commander John Aquilino during a U.S. Senate Armed Forces hearing. when he said this is the position in Indo-PACOM, this is the position, of course, of the Defense Department and probably, of course, upon the advice of the State Department. If there is a Filipino serviceman killed, this would lead to invocation of the Mutual Defense Treaty. So it's very clear. If the Filipino serviceman got killed because he drowned or because of the impact of the high-pressure water that has been used against that Coast Guard vessel, once a Filipino serviceman is killed, that, of course, would lead invocation of the Article 4 of the Mutual Defense Treaty.
Okay, so Professor De Castro, hindi na kailangan yung meron quote-unquote armed attack.
Yes. It's the United States, actually, Admiral Aquilino
Okay.
who announced it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for joining the Storycon International Affairs Analyst Renato De Castro. Prof, salamat sa iyong oras.
Salamat, Prof.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you,
sir.
Professor.
Kamusta niyo na lang ako sa aking gwapong kaibigan, si Ronald Llamas.
Ayun. Kala namin
Oo, talagang...
kami. Ayun pala. May tampo kami. Sir Prof. Siya pala.
Oo.
Kaibigan natin yan si
naman
Prof.
ho kami at wala akong laban sa kagwapuhan ng aking kaibigan.
Ayun. Oo.
Mag-o-object ang China.
Ayun.
Hindi ko lang ba ano react. Okay, sige.
Okay, that was Professor Renato De Castro, who consults a lot and gives lectures.
Magaling talaga
National
yan.
Defense College. So one of the main or most
Gusto lang natin iklaro kasi, yung iba kasi sinasabi, pag in-invoke yung Mutual Defense Treaty, gera na. No? Sinasabi ni Professor, hindi yon, basta mag-uusap afterward.
At saka nagbago na from armed attack on a public vessel to pag may namatay.
Oo. At saka pwedeng,
But I think we have to clarify that.
tsaka pwedeng
further.
civilian. Paano?
But because that's
Yes, I
that's
think-
not the wording in the MDT.
Oo nga eh.
That's not the
It's
wording.
not the wording in the MDT.
Yes, I think we need clarification dyan
Yes.
from the American,
We have to be very careful
from the
with
US
that, eh.
officials. Kasi baka inuwansig nila yan.
Tsaka dati kasi ang
Kahit yung sinabi ng
sinasabi,
military officer nila, might have to be finessed by their
Yes.
Foreign Affairs Department.
tsaka dati kasi
Yung
sinasabi,
State Department
military
nila.
vessel. Ang Coast Guard kasi civilian eh.
But I think the wording is public vessel.
public vessel.
Public
Public
vessel.
vessel.
So supply boats would be
Public
covered by
vessel,
that.
yeah.
But a water cannon assault in which, let's say, kasi may mga Coast Guard personnel dun sa or Navy personnel,
Navy.
personnel sa mga supply
Yeah.
boats. Pag na-water
Navy.
cannon siya at medyo minalas at namatay,
Mamatay.
Actually, meron tayong pantapat sa high-pressured water cannon ng China na hindi nila kaya, na tingin ko aatras sila pag ginamit
may
natin.
punchline ba yan?
Oh, yung water cannon na
Ano?
yung gagamitin natin tubig
Sabi
galing sa Pasig River.
Malabana.
Marami din silang ganon, Ronald.
Marami silang ganun.
Sabi nga nila, di ba?
Radioactive na water.
Sabi nga nila, if they take, if the entire Chinese population takes a leak, that old joke,
Yes.
will drown.
Yes.
Well, the other
Magkakatsunami
complication-
hanggang dito sa atin.
The other complication is that the US of course is bound by its laws, procedural laws. Eh. They cannot just declare unilaterally. It has to go through the US Congress.
It has to be approved by the US. They cannot declare war, the President of the United States. It's the
It has to be
Congress.
approved by Congress. If Congress says no, what do you do?
But ano na rin,
Tayo.
academic tinagbo, the US has been able to go to war
Because it wants to.
without getting approval from Congress.
By not calling it a war.
It's a political decision.
So there you go. Anyway, overtime na tayo. Thank you for
Overtime
joining
na.
us the whole week. Philippine Star Editor Ami Pamintuan and our de facto political pundit Ronald Llamas. Happy weekend.
Every weekend. No?
Thank you. Happy weekend.
Pag binabanggit
Ami.
yung political pundit, tumatawa ka eh.
Mas nakakatawa yung de facto kasi may hidden meaning yun eh.
Okay, join us again on Monday at 4 p.m. for the Storycon. I'm Ed Lingao.
I'm Patrick Paez. We are One News, all sides, all the time. This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.